How did you feel? How did you feel it went?
Yeah, I felt really good. First day, there's always going to be some rust from just about everybody, but I thought it was a good practice, nice start.
Let's go ahead and get out of the way of that. What he's talking to your voice.
Well, BJ said that if I buzzed it and bleached it, he would do it too. So now everybody's got to hold him accountable because he's got to do it in the next week.
Was there anything else to it? Or was just...
I got bored. That's about it.
How many Eminem references have you had over the last couple days?
Well, I haven't exactly been too social the last couple days, so I'm not entirely sure, but I'm sure they're out there.
Joe, do you anticipate practicing every day? Can you walk us through what you're anticipating this month to look like in terms of your participation?
We're going to play it by ear. I don't really, we don't really plan on practicing more than 2 days in a row other than this first chunk. So we're going to play that third day by ear for the next week. And then after that, I plan on going every day.
Zach told us that he wants to play all the starters in the preseason, including you. Is that something, and I know in years past you said that you wanted to get some of that. Is that something you want to do in terms of preseason work?
Yeah, I think that's the best way to go about it this year. We'll try it out. I think in order for us to be our best at the beginning of the year, I think we kind of need that. So that's something we wanted to do in years past, haven't been able to, but I'm excited to get that done this year.
What do you expect to be the difference between the joint practices, because you have 2 this year, versus getting the reps in preseason? What's the added advantage for playing the preseason?
Yeah, just more game reps. Kind of get that it's just different when you go out, you warm up, knowing you're going to play, you sleep in the hotel, knowing you're going to play. It's just all different when you know you're going to go out there, and whether it's a series, a quarter, a half, we haven't really talked about that yet, but I think that's just getting that first feeling out of the way in a scrimmage, essentially, will be good for us.
Do you think your snaps during preseason games might bear on how things go during the controlled scrimmages? I mean, how many snaps you take there and all that sort of thing? Are they separate entities totally?
I don't know. We haven't really had those discussions yet. I think, both will probably play a part. I imagine how we play in that preseason game when we're in there will also play a part. So I think there's a lot of factors.
Was there anything in particular you worked on today? Focused on?
Just getting back out there, wanting to get the legs back under you. The first time you're out there for a camp practice, your legs are always feeling a little heavy. You got to get back in football shape, because you can train as much as you want, but it's always different when you come back out here. And getting the timing, getting the receivers back used to making those contested catches that they haven't made in a while. So everybody's just getting their feet back under them, and I think it was a good day.
How close are you to not thinking about the wrist at all when you throw?
Yeah, I was happy with today. Still feeling it out. Still have some throws where it's like, well, what did that look like? Usually goes where I want it to, but sometimes it doesn't spin the way I want it to. So we're still working through that. But I feel really good about where I'm at. I feel like I kind of figured something out towards the end of the practice there in individual. So looking forward to exploring that a little more.
Just to follow up on that with your wrist, since none of us play football at the level you do, or have probably ever had that wrist procedure done. What's been the most challenging part in terms of, has it been strength or gripping? What's been the most challenging part to get through, to get you back to where you are?
Just the inconsistency. With any injury, there's good days and bad days, and it doesn't really seem like there's any rhyme or reason to it too much. I've put the work in, the people around me have put the work in for this thing to be at 100%, and I'm happy with where it's at. The strength is really good, and my mobility in it has gotten much better over the last month and a half. So I think I'm in a good spot. It's going to continue to get better, especially, getting all the reps that I'm going to be getting during training camp. It'll continue to loosen up. So we're in a good spot.
Is there a specific day you're going to stop doing back to things? You guys map that out yet?
I don't think I really plan on throwing too much on Friday this week. But as I said, we're going to take it day by day, and we'll see.
When you guys went through that process of building that out, what's the biggest impact to have that rest day not going back to back? What does that kind of help you the most that you can recover from it?
I don't know. We'll see. The hope is that I'm going into week 1 feeling as fresh as possible. I think we're doing a really good job of managing all the guys coming back from injury right now. So our coaching staff and our training staff do a great job of trying to keep us healthy and keep us fresh going into week 1. We're doing a little more with the multiple joint practices and playing in the preseason, so we're planning on doing a little bit more of that this year. But as far as practice-wise, they take care of us.
You and T didn't get to be completely healthy at the same time a lot last year. Like, what are you looking forward to, kind of a next step with that connection, kind of how that can grow this season?
Yeah, T's gonna have a big year. It's nice looking out there and seeing big, long, strong T lining up. You know, I saw him out there and I screamed, "T, it's good to have you back." This, you know, one of the reps today, and it's just nice to see him back out there. You know, he's getting his feet back under him just like everybody else is, but he's in a good spot.
From a risk standpoint, what are you hoping to accomplish from a big picture from now until September 8th?
Just continue to work on that consistency. I'm going to continue to get the dexterity that I need when we continue to throw through all these days in camp, and individual is going to be a big part of that. So I feel really good. My whole body's feeling great. Going to continue to adapt and evolve depending on whatever challenges are presented, but we're in a good spot.
You said it's going to be different offseason than what they did this year. What's the thing you didn't do this year that maybe you did in previous years?
Just listen to my body more. You know, if I was really tired one day, you know, I didn't quite go as hard in the weight room or on the field, you know, took more time off if I felt like I needed it. And I think that worked in my favor. You know, I was going into camp in really good shape. I was really strong. I was happy with where my weight was at. So we had a good plan.
Was it the freshest you felt for practice in probably 2 years?
Yeah, I would say that. You know, the first practice, your legs are always a little heavy, but, you know, I felt really, really good throughout.
Joe, you mentioned it was nice to have T out there. Sometimes when guys go through contract negotiations, you don't know what you're going to get in training camp. To have a guy like him out there on day 1 after the contract negotiations and all that, what does that say about T?
You know, T, that's the kind of guy T is. T's going to come out and work. T knows how big of a year it is for us and him, and he wants to get out here and get better just like we all do. I think he's going about it the right way. You know, he hasn't, you know, his business is his business, but I know he's a football player at heart and wants to continue to get better and improve.
Do you think the sorry, go ahead.
Who do you envision stepping up and taking over TV's role in the slot?
Yeah, we'll see. I feel really good about all of our options, whether it's Andre, Chuck, Jermaine, Trenton. I feel like those guys had a great spring, and, you know, they all looked really good today. And I feel really good about our tight end room as well. So I think this is the deepest and most talented group that we've had since I've been here, from top to bottom, in a lot of different spots. So I think a lot of those guys are going to have to fill that role and step up.
How much do you think Homer offseason have you had, mentally, emotionally, whatever? Even last year you were going through contract negotiations, then you had the injury at the beginning of camp, and now it seems like you're in a different place. Characterize that of you.
Yeah, definitely less distractions heading into camp this year, I would say, especially in this first week. We had a great plan over the last month to month and a half to get my body and mind the way that I felt like it needed to be coming into camp. And that's a credit to all the people that I surround myself with. They work really hard to make sure that I'm at my best, and I'm really appreciative of that from people in the building and out the building, family, friends, everybody. So I'm really happy with the plan that I had coming into camp this year, happy with how my body feels, happy with how my mind feels, so we're in a good spot.
Do you think the extra work and the extra joint practice, the work in the preseason games, do you think that will be an antidote to slow starts the last couple of years, or do you think the slow starts could be just kind of written off to help?
I don't know. We'll see. That's a question that's to be determined, but I think we're thinking about it the right way. I think we're trying new things to try to help those slow starts and getting off to faster starts, putting us in a better position at the midway point of the season. And so I do think that it will help, but we'll see.
What's kind of the message that Jamar is on that right camp, and he's going to deal with this stuff? as well, kind of try to work with him back into the rotation with you. What's kind of the message to him as how he kind of feels when he gets the game?
We've had our discussions that, I'll keep private, but his business is his business, and he's out here encouraging guys, and I'm not entirely sure what his plan is at this point, but, I know he's with us 100%, and so when he's ready to come back out there and practice, we'll be ready to have him, and I know that he's going to be physically and mentally ready whenever you step back out here, and he's going to be the Jamar Chase that everybody knows that he is.
Is that one of the benefits of having him play with you for so long, and you guys have so many new kids out that if there is a long absence, like you guys can pick up quicker than what another receiver?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I was thinking about that this offseason that I've played about 10 games over the course of my entire football career outside of high school without Jamar, and those were the games my rookie year. So, we have that chemistry that you can just kind of plug and play.
You dyed your hair blonde back in high school, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
What was the reason for it back then?
We did it as a team when we won the district championship. Trying to channel a little bit of that year.
Have you looked in the mirror yet? I'm sure you have, after you got cut this week, did you look in the mirror and
First couple days was definitely a little shocking when I woke up, I would say, but I've gotten used to it.
So are there any repercussions if BJ doesn't go through? What happens to that?
I think we need the fans and the media to hold him accountable if he doesn't do it. So I'm counting on you guys.
Joe, kind of a milestone training camp where you're number 5 for the NFL. What have you learned most about yourself as your game and your body kind of evolved going into the season?
Yeah, you grow and learn every year. I know I'm pretty damn good. I have been. Can continue to improve year to year, day to day, and I think that's how you have to approach it. I'm focused on continued improvement, and I'm really happy with the offseason that I have. I'm really happy to have this training camp to continue to hone my skills and improve and, build this team chemistry for this run we're about to go on.
Is the hair here to stay? Is the hair here to stay for the season? Or is this temporary?
I think this is probably temporary. I'll let it grow out, see what it looks like, little frosted tips. I don't know. We'll see.
Is it cooler?
It's definitely cooler under the helmet. I'm going to have to figure out some sweat reduction techniques, but it's definitely cooler under there.
Would you say you have more team-oriented goals than you did in the league? Winning is a bigger priority even than it was a couple years ago.
Yeah, I would say, as a young player, you're trying to establish yourself and win games, but establish yourself as a really good quarterback and a good player. I feel like I've kind of passed that point and I'm established, and now you kind of enter that whatever it takes to get the job done. And that's kind of always been the mindset, but you definitely think about different things early in your career than you do now, I would say. And I would say that team-oriented goals are the only thing that I'm worried about at this point. Stats are stats, and as long as we're winning and hit the team goals that we want, then that's all that matters to me.
Can you say what your weight is, Joe?
My weight fluctuates about 5 pounds throughout the day, 6 to 7, 5 to 7 pounds. So I'm between 215 and 220 right now.
Is that about the biggest you've been at any point?
Definitely the biggest I've been since I've been in the league. I've been this big in spots in college, but I would say consistently this is the biggest I've been.
Do you feel better? Does it matter?
We're going to find out. We're going to find out throughout camp. I'm going to continue to adapt to however I feel. If I feel a little sluggish out there, then I'll drop some weight. But I think the way to go about it for me now is to come in a little heavier, and then it's really easy for me to drop weight. So if I feel sluggish and slow, then I can drop 5 pounds like that and go from there.
So you changed a lot of things in the offseason, obviously, the way you approach some things. You feel like it paid off the first time you threw the ball today? You feel like it came out of your hand like you wanted to, you put it where you wanted to, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I felt really strong on my deeper throws, and that's something that I'm going to have to get the feel of coming back, because you don't get a ton of reps of those down the field throws during OTAs, and training camp is really the only time that you can, and you're going to limit that because you don't want your guys to run down the field 24/7. So you're going to have to take advantage of those opportunities. And so we're feeling that out right now.
So what was the best part of your trip to Paris?
Just being with friends. You know, it was great to be out there in a different culture, but, you know, being with Justin, being with Jamar, being with some friends from high school, it was a great time. So I was lucky to have guys with me that care about me and I care about them.
What led to the backless suit decision?
I don't know. I thought I looked pretty good. They gave me a couple options, and it ended up being that one with or without the shirt, and I thought without the shirt looked a little better.
We're going to see that before a game this year.
I don't know. Maybe we will. Who knows?
You keep the guy, I don't know how these things work. You keep the guy.
I don't think so. I don't think I brought it with me. No, I don't think so.
You said you figured something out at the end of individual. Can you elaborate on that?
I don't know yet. I think I still have to explore that a little more. I don't really have an answer for you yet about that, but something clicked, and so I'm excited to explore that a little more.
During this process, during this recovery process, how many times have you had that where it's like, oh, I figured this out potentially, and then you had to go back the next day and check, is that a big part of the recovery?
Yeah, that's a tough part about recovering from injuries, because you have a lot of those, and then there'll be a day where it's like, I figured it out, and then you find something else, and it's like, oh, it's not quite there yet. So that's been always frustrating when you're recovering from an injury. You have a lot of those little moments, and they get further and further apart as you start to get closer to 100%. So we're in that spot right now.
New coordinator, old friend, how does that play out today and going forward?
Yeah, pitch has been unbelievable so far. Brad has been unbelievable quarterback coach. You know, the guys that we've brought in have really stepped up and made a difference in communication and everything, bringing in new concepts, new identities, whatever you want to call it. Justin Muscati's brought a lot up to the table as well. So it's always fun watching and building relationships with new guys and working through that as a team. And that's how you get to be where you want to be, is building the chemistry between the players and the coaches, and it all comes into one at hopefully the right time. And so that process is something that I've always enjoyed.
Day one, did you feel like, you know, all the plays that you went out there and ran, everything clicked? It looked like it from the sideline.
Yeah, it felt good. There's always little things here and there. We don't have a ton in right now. It's day one, so it's our base stuff. It's their base stuff. So as we go, we continue to go against different and more complex defenses, and we put in different and more complex plays. And so that's kind of the next week. And so this is always the most frustrating part of camp, because you want those challenges and make it feel like a game, but you got to go a little slower and put everything in. So that's kind of where we're at right now.